The fates of war are fickle. 3 months ago, the only call for the Dominion was forwards, advance, onwards. But now, the only order is retreat. Greetings, loyal members. This is the Dominion War. Now, last month, the Dominion surrounded the Chintoka salient, bottling up 3 Allied fleets in the Chintoka system and bogging them down in ground battles. On the southern front, the Dominion retook the Cthulhu system, forcing the Klingons out of their salient, but at the same time, the Allied steamroller took Alban and Ramatis, and this month, the Dominion, once again, the Dominion start to fall back from the southern front. The Cardassian fleet and the Jem'Hadar fleet at B'Elanna and Kitaria fall back to Oceanius and Lemma. They are just unable to stop Tomalok's steamroller. What you have here are 2 Klingon fleets, 2 Federation fleets, a Romulan fleet under Tomalok, who is coordinating the entire thing, as well as 4 additional fleets in support against essentially 2 Dominion fleets. They have no means of holding back this onslaught. The Dominion's only choice is to fall back. There's also another reason for the Dominion to fall back, apart from the fact that they simply cannot resist this phalanx that is just carving right through them right now. And that is that they need to free up numbers for elsewhere on the front line. Specifically, in the northern and central front. The central front is stable. It's a fairly limited area of space between the McAllister Nebula and the Badlands, where the old border war was fought, and it's been relatively quiet there. You have 3 Cardassian fleets opposing 3 Federation fleets. But with the Romulans on their way, they know that this could change very quickly, so they are dispatching additional fleets up to there. Specifically, they are dispatching a Jem'Hadar fleet because they know that Cardassian morale is beginning to degrade, and so they want the Jem'Hadar there to, stiffen them up a little bit. In the northern front, things are much, much worse. You have 4 Allied fleets, 3 Federation and 1 Romulan, facing 2 Dominion fleets, and the Allies have 2 fleets in support as well. This is not good, and it's very likely that the Allies will attempt to make a breakthrough there. This would really compromise their defense of the Romulan front, which is basically out in deep space. There's a whole array of fleets, and it's growing constantly, that are basically waiting up there. They're doing nothing. They're not fighting at all. But they know that the Romulans are in deep space after capturing the base back in January. And they know that the Romulans are going to use that to launch an assault. And so they need to just have this border completely covered, completely swarmed in tachyon grids and anti-proton scans, everything. They need everything to cover this front, because if the Romulans get loose inside Cardassian territory, there's no way of ever knowing when or where they will strike. So you need to stop them here while you still can. And that's why so many resources are being diverted up there. And if the Allies attack in the north, then the force protecting the border from the Romulans is going to be outflanked. And so that's why the Dominion are so keen to move forces out from the southern front to the central and northern front. Now, on the southern front, the Allies lead a counterattack at Nami, with 2 Klingon fleets and 1 Federation fleet pushing the Cardassian fleet out of Nami. This begins to drive out that salient, and they're beginning to now isolate Beta Z. And that really brings us to the end of the month, with the Dominion basically retreating on most fronts. While it is to reinforce other fronts, it doesn't exactly show a very strong and stable defensive platform. It shows a force that is being stretched increasingly thin to counter mounting threats, and it's unclear as to whether or not they're going to be able to hold them all off. this is a very unstable structure and it's unsure where the first crack will form, but wherever it happens, it's quite likely that after that the entire thing could just come crumbling down. It's very precarious right now for the Dominion. No one wants to sit around in deep space waiting for the Romulans, but increasingly that's what a lot of Dominion and Cardassian ships are having to do. Just sit out there on the border and wait for the Romulans. Imagine that. You know they're out there, and you know they're going to attack. And, you know, these are Romulan warbirds. These are terrifying warships. But you have no way of knowing when or where they're going to attack. And imagine being a Cardassian civilian on those frontier worlds, and you know that the Romulans are coming. You might not sleep so well at night. Thank you guys. I will see you all next time.